Think about farming. You got your challenges of your soil, you got your challenges of your cattle. Top that all off with the challenges of weather throws you every year. That's kind of the fun of farming. I'm Tim Magnant. I'm owner of Bridgeman View Farm here in Franklin, Vermont. I run about 120 acres of grass and I ran about 120 acres of corn. 120, 30 acres of corn. We have a total of about 110 cows right now and another 90 heifers or so. So we're a 200 head plus farm. We must raise about 50 calves a year. My neighbors are great people. I had a neighbor down here came see me a couple weeks ago and asked me, could I bring my excavator down to move some stumps for him. I moved some stumps for him. He's a great guy. We had our shop broken into this summer and we lost some tools. So we put a lock on and he installed the lock on for me. Like I said earlier, I am not a carpenter. You give me a hammer and nails and I'll bend them every time. But yeah, as people that you get to work with and for the most part, people are patient with you and they appreciate you here in this village. It's a local town. We all know each other. That's the nice part. Weather's our biggest factor here. We had more rain this year than I've probably ever seen, and that's what more was short of the corn crop. Tiling, under draining, it's all sloped to take the water, the excess water out of the soil, just dries it out. So the crop like corn that doesn't like water, even grass doesn't like too much water. It allows it to grow better, more productive crops. But where the dark green, see how these two are dark green, these two are yellow, then it's a little dark green again and dark green again. Those are the injection zones, the manure injection that happened before we put the winter rye on. It's been at least 10 years that I've injected manure. It keeps the smell down. Keeping the smell down keeps the nitrogen into the soil, so hopefully we're getting more use out of our manure. We were doing some tiling and we dug back small strips, and below the topsoil we actually had a zone of about 4 or 5 inches where the manure had actually gone below the topsoil and stayed in the subsoil, so it should actually build some subsoil into some topsoil. That right here, you notice there's hardly no cover crop growing right here. He did not inject the ends, and you really can see the zones there. So manure's not hurting us, it's our friend, really. This is a grass waterway, and grass waterways change all the time, and you can see the water's caught by the grass. Kind of reshaped our cornfields a little bit because of it, but now there's no corn growing here. When it did grow corn, it didn't grow corn worth harvesting. This used to always be washed out. Now it's actually gaining. And the practices I'm doing are definitely saving my topsoil.
My name is Ryan. We're working on decorating for the holiday parades.
Ryan is the employee that's been with me the longest. I saw him as a little kid on the farm one day and I asked him if he wanted a job because you could just see the sparkle in his eye wanting to do this.
So I've been working here 15 years.
Yeah, 6th grade. He was pretty little when he started working here. I mean, he was just feeding calves and doing that stuff, and he's just turned into, I mean, he can run the place now.
One of the things I like about farming is it's something different every day. You never know what the day's gonna bring. And some of the things like no-till and stuff does work pretty well here because we've got very stony ground. And with the manure injector and stuff, we get our manure incorporated without having to go through and chisel and spend a week picking stones. And that allows us to get our first cut in and our corn planted on time. Farming this close to town, that's where our injector comes into play, is the village don't have to smell the manure. I grew up here in Franklin. It's a nice little town. One of the things I like about working for Tim is that I get incorporated with the decisions, and it's not necessarily do this, do that. My opinions are valued.
I use him now as a mentor to me to make sure I'm making the right decisions. We take decisions and bounce them off each other before we go make the real decision. The biggest challenge to me is labor and your issue of the rule changes and the way they keep tightening the rules. He's a machine. He's a great worker. I'm not sure the next generation's willing to put in the time that our forefathers have done. I don't know. I really hope it can, because it concerns me, because labor is a real issue on these farms today. And myself included have had issues to get enough labor to get this done.
Milk prices and fluctuations and fuel prices, and you never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. And we keep getting more rules and regulations.
I look at it as a little kid when we were told don't play with your food. I think we're playing with our food a little too much. They may go too far and it'll be too late if they do.